Hi guys! So welcome to this week's video. Today I'm going to be explaining English camp. So what is English camp? So every EPIK teacher has to do English camp for at least 40 hours. So 20 hours is during the summer and 20 hours is during the winter. Usually 20 hours can be divided into 2 weeks, so 5 days for 4 hours. 4 hours are usually the amount of time in the classroom, so 45 minutes is equivalent to 1 camp hour. So let me show you how I prepare for camp. So usually when I prepare for camp, I like to write out my days like this and then put the idea in each box. So this year my camp is divided into 4 days and 5 hours just because of something special that's happening at the school. So we had to do it that way. Otherwise, usually I do camp for 5 days and 4 hours. So usually here I have all my ideas. After, I have to submit in a form to the school giving the itinerary of my camp. So usually I have the date and then the theme, objectives and content. And after, I have the date and I get the title of the session and then I explain each individual one. Usually for most schools, you have to give this kind of format for papers. So after preparing camp, usually you have to give your co-teacher a material list, but with my case, it's a little bit different. So usually when I give my teacher the material list, she'll look for the items and she knows the budget. Usually your school lets you know the budget, but for some reason in my case, I don't know the budget. So I just tell my teacher and just hope, that I am under the budget. So usually for camp, I get all my ideas off of either YouTube or the internet or other teachers. Anyway, let's get started with camp. So usually when I start my camp, I like to get my students to do icebreakers because even though they all go to the same school, most of them are in different classes and they don't know each other, and then, it gets a little awkward sometimes. So I think icebreakers are a great way to start off camp. After doing icebreakers, we just get started with the schedule. So our first schedule was learning English phrases and expressions through popular love pop songs. Next, we moved on to SMS. I think SMS is really fun because the students are like, why? Why does this mean this? And usually I always like to add a little easy food activity. Trust me, go easy because it just takes less time, cleanup is easy, and everybody's happy. Pepero is a great idea, and I 100% think you should try to incorporate this into your camp. Kids love it. It's easy, it's clean, delicious. Done. After my students made pepero, we just put in a little bag so they can take to go home. Last, we practiced expressions.
I saw Jill with your ex-boyfriend. Ready to go?
I don't like you.
So usually after camp, I eat lunch because camp is only for half the day. Day 2. Christmas! What's a really fun activity is telephone charade. It gets the kids active and it gives us all a good laugh. I like to play this game called Round Up, and Round Up has usually a theme and it has several different mini games inside that game. And what I love to add is What's the Song, where I mix up 4 different songs and they have to guess the titles and who sang it. So today we're going to make Christmas cards, and I thought it would be cool to incorporate how to write in cursive, because cursive does look really pretty, and I thought it would be cool for them to try. Some of my students, they write better cursive than me, and this is their first time learning it. What I love about my students, especially my first years, is that they're very creative, and they go way beyond and above when I give them certain activities and materials. After, we watched a video about winter traditions. Usually for my second and third years, I don't add subtitles, but for some of my first years, at least 1 or 2 are a little bit lower when it comes to English skills, so I feel a little bit obligated just to give a little bit of help for a little bit of the time. Okay, day 3, Dia de los Muertos. I like to do Scene It, where I play a scene for them for a few seconds, and then they have to write the answer on the board. My kids love the camera. We also made flowers, like what you put on the ofrendas. And they turned out really nice. And like I said, they're easy, clean up, and they're fun to make. And they can take them home. One game that is really fun too is where you type the synopsis of the movie or the story and you mix up the order. The students have to read the sentences and put them in the correct order. First, we start off with about 10, but then we can go as high as 22. And another round up. And our last day, St. Patrick's Day. Usually I like to incorporate vocabulary words and expressions. I like the kids to draw out the meanings so they have an idea and imagery of when they think of that word or phrase. Like I said, most of them are really creative and such artists, and I'm jealous that I can't draw as good as them. Usually during camp too, we always give the children snacks because they're there for a long time. My children are so funny though. They like to do other subjects and talk about other subjects and do long things while they're taking their breaks. And last, the saran wrap game where they have to roll doubles in order to get the ball. And always to end camp is Mom's Touch. It doesn't feel like camp's over until I eat Mom's Touch. So usually at the end of camp, we order Mom's Touch for the kids, because like it's a special last day and it's just easier for them to take home, because there's still corona. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this camp video, and like I said, I try to entail as much detail about what I do in camp, but kind of gets hectic because I'm helping the students with a lot of activities. But anyways, if you have any questions about English camp, please leave a comment down below. And if you like this EPIK content, please give it a like and subscribe. Okay, see you later guys. Bye!